Why, hello there everyone, Vortex here, and today coming back to you with a brand new gameplay video, second gameplay video of the BT-10 format, and it is going to be Canoweissmon, Canon Donny, whatever that guy is called, Gamamon, is playing on the left, and I'm playing Jesmon on the right. I just want to say thank you for the support over the past couple of videos. Some of them are really blown up, and it really does mean a lot to me, especially as I continue providing more content and also trying to improve it as I go along. But we get into this game, and this is like, I've never seen this deck before. I obviously know that Canoweissmon kind of like has multiple effects, which plays well with the Gamamon cards, but I thought it was quite interesting. So I get myself into a Savior Huckmon and delete a Gamamon because I feel like it could potentially pose a threat, and then I also get an additional search from the Huckmon, allow me to play some system or search some Systemons, and then end my turn by playing Systemon CL, which would normally get me to 4, but I go to 3 just due to the fact that it gains memory. And so he goes into, I believe this is the one with Blitz. And then he goes straight into the Canoweissmon, and this is my first time reading the card because I haven't read this before, but it gains the effects of all of the cards with Gamamon in its name. So I believe here it gets Blitz because it's a when digivolving effect. So he decides to go into the Savior Huckmon. I believe it's on like 12k at this point to my 10k. And then gets the draw and everything like that. So a pretty good momentum swing from my opponent here, meaning I have to make another stack. I was constantly reading this card because I have no idea about what the card does, but it has quite a lot of effects. It can get like security attack +1, and it's quite interesting. And he's also mentioning here that even if he digivolves onto a level 6, he still gets the effects and everything like that. It's just a bit crazy, to be honest. So I end up having like a pretty mediocre turn, so he gets a pretty big swing turn potentially coming up on his turn. He doesn't have a memory tamer though, which is pretty good for me because if he had like a memory tamer, I think he'd be in a lot more better position, potentially pushing for close to game. So he does a security check, get from Master Disciple, which is really good. This card is insane for this deck. I don't know what they were thinking when he printed this card, but just having a search and then also a reduction in 2 cost, and it also has it in the same like security effect, I think is pretty insane. And so here I'm checking again to see the effects of Canoweissmon, and it's on his turn only. So I promote the Bao Huckmon here. It's currently on 8k. So I believe, no, I can't swing over it because I can't use Hero to give an additional 2k here. So at this moment I'm just considering what I want to do. I believe I'm going to go into the Savior Huckmon here. And yes I do, so allows him to attack unsuspended, but it doesn't really matter in this situation because I am just going to be focusing the Canoweissmon. I'll swing into the Savior Huckmon and use its effects basically, so it's currently on, I believe, 12k, so 12-13k I believe. And as you can see, I'm making some misplays here because I forgot the draw from the Gurimon, which is rather annoying. And so to end my turn, this is a bit of an interesting play from me, but I go into the X antibody here because I don't have a normal Jesmon in my hand, I believe, at this point. But what it allows me to do is play the Blanc from hand, which means he's now a blocker. He's also gained 2k DP because I believe it's when you can play a Systemon, and if you do, you gain 2k DP until the end of your opponent's turn. So it plays around some effects, I believe. Mainly, I believe it's the, I can't remember what it was. I think it's one of the Gamamons deletes 3k DP or lower. So pretty good to get above that range basically. And so he deletes my Jesmon X antibody with the Gaia Force, so he's pretty much just trying to control the field. I've been given a lot of memory here, so I go into a Blanc to trash and to draw 2. I'm pretty much looking for a big stack, or potentially just like pushing for game next on the following turn. So at this moment I have potentially 4 bodies on the field. If none of the security are bad, I'm close to winning. So I ended up just playing the Huckmon here so that I can get another body on the field. If he can't deal with it, basically, it means I can swing for 5 for game. And I don't think he has like a way to do anything about that really. But he does have this this green Gamamon. I can't remember what this one does. I think it's something on the lines of, it's like it can't be blocked or something like that. I think it's that one. I think, oh no, that's the blue one, I think. I think it has piercing. That's the one, I think. Yeah, because they all have like a certain keyword, and this one just means it has piercing. So I can't really block this one. I mean, I can, but it won't do anything essentially. So he just swings the security. For additional security, I'm not going to block because there's no reason for me to do that. I hit a red memory boost, which means I can set up for a pretty big turn following up. And I think at this point he's just trying to figure out if he can potentially win this turn. So he plays. So I don't think he can. So I think he plays the one with retaliation instead. And so I just start swinging. Nothing bad there. I swing again. Nothing bad there. I swing up again. Nothing bad there. Swing again. Nothing bad there. And I win game 1. And now we get into game 2. I feel a bit more confident now after the first game because I kind of have expectations for this deck now. And so I get to go first, and I play a Huckmon and then play a hero. So I feel immediately good because, as most of you know, Jesmon is a heavily set up deck, and having 3 memory per turn is obviously really important because it allows you to potentially go to, in this case, allows you basically guaranteed to go to 5 to 6 or 4 to 5 basically every turn, or 3 to 4 then 5, which is, you know, even better. So with this memory on my opponent's, on his turn, he gets into Canoweissmon, so he has piercing, which is obviously a little bit worrying, but he plays Bear Claw here, I think it's called, which allows him to put Gamamon underneath him, and then also I think it's DP increase as well. So he gets to draw a card, gets to delete the Blanc that I just played, and also does only 1 check, I believe, because he hasn't got like a Tamer in play. I think that's what it was. So he's kind of left himself a little bit vulnerable here, because as you saw from the first game, I'm not afraid to go into the Savior Huckmon just to clear the cannon, and as he has no like follow up on this, I think it's a pretty safe turn to actually do that. So I promote the Bow Huckmon here, go into the Savior Huckmon, and currently I believe he's at 910k, which is obviously more than the cannon. So I swing into the cannon, use hero, gain a draw from the Gurimon, something that I did catch up on apparently in later games, and I then play a Blanc to trash the CL to draw 2. So the CL here is pretty important because the CL is the one that allows you to Digivolve on the turn you play it. And so he goes into he plays Fireball, which in most cases allows him to draw 2 cards, but unfortunately I did have a 3k body on the field, which means he had to delete the Blanc. So a bit of a misplay on his hand. I'm pretty sure he would have preferred the draw. And now I'm just considering what I want to do, because I pretty much have like an open board here. Obviously, like, one of the things that I do want to do is remove threats and then go into my big Jesmon stack. But in this case, I didn't really need to because there is no thing on the field. So I go into Jesmon, passing with 1 memory. And so I gain a memory from the CL that I think from my hand. And then I will I'm just checking on DP here, and then I'm considering what other one I want to play. I think in this case I do play the other CL. No, in this case I play the Blanc just so I can get a blocker just in case, because there's no real reason for me to Digivolve basically here, because yes, I do get to get another I don't think I had it in my hand in the first place, but I don't think I have enough to really like push an advantage with. I think my opponent kind of misplayed there. We didn't catch on it obviously, but he activated Fireball from security, and it says activate your main effect, which means he should have deleted my System on Blanc in this situation, but he unfortunately didn't. So something to catch out there for sure. I'm sure he didn't mean it. Like, happens obviously when the main card here is you know, to draw 2, you forget about the on deletion effect. He promotes his Gamamon and completely forgets about the fact that I am a blocker. So I think at this point it kind of says enough to him. You might have noticed there my opponent has a blank Digimon card. It's just a proxy for another Canoweissmon, but in this case I'm just swinging, continue swinging, and I have game here because I just have more guys on the board, so he's just checking for effects, and I swing for game.